Hello，你好，Welcome back，欢迎回来 to Wisdom Wednesday with Johnny Tiger on April 14, 2021. I like to talk about culture shock because there's always a lot of funny stuff that goes on when culture shock happen. And today I'm going to tell you one of my very personal, very own experience with culture shock. When I first came to Canada, and especially when I started to become a teenager and started to hang out more with Canadian people and English speaking people, even people from other part of the English speaking nations, like UK and US, um, and when internet first started becoming popular and I started getting into online chat, emails, exchanges on the internet. Back then it was like ICQ, Microsoft Chat in the prior to year 2000. Oh God, I'm old. um, One thing that constantly baffled me, confused me, made me feel weird all over was how casual people, English speaking people, are when they throw around the word love. I mean, heck, I can walk down the street and some random dude who's stoned or high or just in a really good mood gonna randomly shout out, "Hey man, I love you, man. Good job, man. I love you." And then um, on the internet, when people sign off on the email, uh, "I'm going to see you tomorrow at school. Love, George." Um, and even waitresses, waiters sometimes will address you as love if they are of a British descent or Irish, Scottish, or from the UK. They will say, "Hey, love, have you decided what you want, love? Nice choice, love. I'll be right with you, love." And you run into that at uh, restaurants and banks and different places. And that casual tossing about the word love had me all confused in the head because in my culture, people do not throw the word love around like that. In fact, uh, outside of some very, very liberal Chinese family, the word love, technically speaking, are only ever heard inside the bedroom or between couples, or maybe on the off chance, sometimes parents might say it to their kids, but even that is really, really rare. Because to Chinese people, love is uh, limited to after it's been translated is I, I, uh, like the letter I, which means romantic involvement, romantic love. So you can imagine how awkward it is for Chinese people who are not used to hearing the word love used so offhandedly, so often, so commonplace, and just being tossed about like it doesn't mean anything. Like if you make me feel good, if I'm in a good mood, I love the world, I love you. That you don't hear that in Chinese culture because for Chinese people, love is very carefully, very specifically categorized into six major kind of humanly mortal love. And today we're going to talk about all six of them, just so you guys get an idea how different the culture is when it comes to the subject of love. While in English, love is just one word that can mean like 100 different things, 100 different levels of affection, 100 different levels of how much you like someone, 100 different levels of why you're using that word. In Mandarin, there is a very clear and defined distinction between various kind of humanly love for each other, with each other. Uh, so let's take a look at that. The central word that we will first learn is qin. Qin, Ching, qin. What does qin mean? Qin means feeling, uh, 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 feeling in your heart, uh, how you feel about something, uh, emotion, attitude, qin. So that is the central operative word. The first kind of qin, the first kind of love, the first kind of loving feeling we will look at is 爱情. 爱情, that's I, and like the letter I and the CHING, 爱情. We already talked about that like 2 minutes ago. I means romantic love. So 爱情 is the 情 you feel for your partner, for your husband, for your wife. Very specific, very specific. Uh, you when you talk when you want to use the words, the phrase 爱情, don't misuse it. Don't say to your friend our 爱情, or don't say to your kids our 爱情. It's going to come across really weird. Okay, 爱情 is specifically reserved for that person that you're romantically involved with. 呃，爱情 also encompasses lust, um, uh, that kind of a physical relationship, uh, and the physical closeness, and the shared experience in body and soul. Uh, so it is kind of like love, but it is very specific. It is love for your spouse, for your partner. 爱情, such as when we say in Mandarin, 我爱你 means I love you. So that's the same word I in there. 爱情 is the love you feel for a spouse or a partner. The second one is 友情, Yochin. 友情. Some people think it's less than 爱情, but it is not. It's just a different target. 友情 is specifically the love you feel for a friend. So when you talk to your friend, you can say, "I really appreciate our 友情." Okay, that means I really appreciate the love between us, but it is not romantic. It is a friendly kind of love. Don't say it to your partner though. If you say to your spouse, "I really appreciate our 友情," they may get angry with you because they are looking for 爱情. They're not looking for 友情. Some people may say, "Well, yeah, but lovers can be friends too." But for the most part, they want to be recognized as 爱情 and not 友情. If they are sleeping with you and living in the same house with you and having children with you. So 友情 is the love between you and your friend. 友情 is also encompassing loyalty, uh, the willingness to sacrifice yourself for your friend, the willingness to put yourself out for your friend, the willingness to do the right thing for your friend, the willingness to be there for your friend when they need you. Uh, just like 爱情, 友情 quite often will transcend legality, will transcend right or wrong. A lot of people, Chinese people, will do the wrong thing, or they will go down the wrong path, even when they know it is wrong, just to fulfill that 爱情 or 友情. Right? People will die for love. People will do all kind of weird stuff for love. And Chinese people is no exception in that. The third type is called chin chin, Chinchin, chin chin, chin chin. Um, this is the love between you and your family. Chin chin, you love between you and your parent, love between you and your siblings, love between you and your own children and other family member. That is chin chin. Chin means family relation, related blood relation. Chin chin. Chin chin quite often encompasses a lot of tradition, a lot of obligation, a lot of um, a lot of very old ceremonies and beliefs. So, in another word, even though you might not get along with a particular sibling, you may hate each other. For example, you don't have 爱情, of course, that would be wrong, and you definitely don't have any 友情 because you're not friends, you don't like each other, but you still have 亲情 because you are related, and that 亲情 will bound you to all kind of obligations. Um, Less so nowadays than how it used to be maybe 50 years ago, 100 years ago. But still, in Taiwanese culture, Chinese culture, it is possible to get bound up in qin even when you don't even like the person. For example, uh, if a child refuses to give monetary support to his or her parents when his or her parent is old in Taiwan, um, and the government find out that the child actually has the financial capability, but they just don't want to do it. Maybe they don't like their parent. Maybe their parents abused them when they were little. They will uh, get taken to court and either go to jail or be ordered by the court that they have to take care of their parent because that is chin chin. And so chin chin is not just something we feel in our heart or in our head. It's right there in the law that it has to exist. In some way, it's the most powerful of all the different levels of qin, because this is, as far as I know, the only kind of qin that is recognized by legal system, by judges, by juries, by the constitution in Taiwan. In the old days, we are talking about not even that long ago, maybe only 100 years ago, if a younger brother, if a younger sibling dare to glare, and not even lay a hand on, dare to glare at an older sibling, if a younger sibling dare to glare at an older sibling, then they could be punished by law to be caned or whipped at the post publicly for daring to forget about Qin Qin. So, Qingqing is very, very powerful in Chinese culture and very, very binding. It is a love that you should have for your family member, for your blood relation. Number four, Xinqing, that's Shing, Ching, Xinqing means emotion, means the love, the feeling you have inside. How do you feel today? What is your emotional state? Xinqing, Xin means heart. Qing, again, love, feeling, emotion, uh, obligation. So Xinqing means the emotion in your heart. So very often, if you hear Chinese people talk to each other, they will say, "Hey, you look like your 心情不好. Your 心情不好. What's wrong?" That means you're emotionally you seem wrong. You seem bad. You seem like you're in a bad mood. The 心情 means mood, means emotion, means your psyche, means your psychological state, your mental state. Uh, some people say, "Hey, I feel good today. I have 好心情." 好心情 means good mood, good I'm in a good place psychologically. Some people say, "Don't talk to me." 我心情不好。Means don't bother me. I am in a bad mood. I'm not ready for this psychologically. Don't pester me. 我心情不好. Uh, some people when they say 你好, they will say 你好, how are you? And they will say 你好，今天心情好吗? 今天 means today. 心情好吗 means uh, are you in a good mood? How's your mood today? How do you feel today? How are you feeling in your heart today? So 心情 is the feeling you have, the love, the emotion you have in your heart. How do you feel today? Uh, your emotional state. That's 心情. So quick recap, we have four so far. We have 爱情, that's the love between you and your spouse, your partner, your romantic others. You have 友情, that is the love between you and your friend. All the loyalty, all the trust and obligations that come with that. You have 亲情, which is love between you and your family member, your blood relation. It is the only kind of qin that is guaranteed, that is sheltered by law and is recognized in court. And then you have 心情, which is your own emotional state. How do you feel inside your heart? Now, we are getting to the final two kind of qin, and this will get a little bit hard to explain because there's no equivalent word for these in English. So bear with me as I try to stutter my way through this. The next level of qin is called gan qin. Gan qin, that's Gunching, and gan qin is a very difficult one to explain. Ganqin is the love and respect you have for someone when you have shared experiences, enough shared time, enough shared experiences. You will hear a lot of people say to people who are in long-term relationship that are not happy. Uh, Actually, I had this said to me by my good friend Kevin when I was in my previous relationship. Some of you don't know that I was previously in an 18 years relationship, and the last 5 years of that was very unhappy. But my friend Kevin, being Chinese himself, said to me, "Come on, man, you need to stay with it because you've been together for so long. Even if you no longer have 爱情, you still need to think about 感情." Right? So 感情 is something that only time can create. The longer that you are together, the more 感情 you accumulate. 感情 is that familiar, that taking each other for granted, knowing everything about each other, that state where the other person doesn't have to finish the sentence. You can automatically finish the sentence. The other person doesn't need to say what they want for breakfast. You automatically know what they want for breakfast. The other person doesn't need to say a single word. You already know they're in a bad mood today. That kind of very familiar feeling you have with someone that you spend a lot of time with. Not necessarily just someone you were in love with, not someone that you had 爱情 with, but anyone. It can be a friend. Heck, it can be someone that you're in jail with. It can be your jailmate. Um, Even if you hate each other, even if you want to beat each other up all the time, but if you're in jail together long enough, you have a 感情 between you. In other words, you know each other, you know how to read each other, you know what each other is going to do. So 感情 is we can uh, abbreviate it to the kind of love that you find when you become familiar with each other through time. So it's a very it's a familiarity. I guess that's the best word for it. Uh, 感情 is something that a lot of people in Chinese culture uh, base their decisions on. How do I treat you in my in our business dealing? How do I treat you when I lend you $100 and you're not paying that back? It's largely influenced by how much 感情 I feel towards you. How long have I known you? How long have I known you? How well do I know you? So if we have a lot of 感情 between us, we have a lot of shared experience, then I may feel, oh well, just $100. I'll get it back one way or another somehow. But if we don't have a lot of 感情, we don't have a lot of shared experience or time, then I may feel that you cheated me and so on and so on. There's a lot of more bad feeling. So how Chinese people react to different scenarios is very much depending on the 感情 they feel towards the other party. The last one, and probably the hardest to explain, because this is a concept, not only that there's no English word for it, but through my own personal experience, there's not even an English concept for this. I'm not trash talking Americans or Canadians or Europeans, but they just don't really have this concept. They have sometimes you almost feel like they have it, but for the most part, in my own experience, they don't. They don't understand it. They don't really appreciate it. The last one is 人情. 人情. Renchin. 人 means people, human, uh, uh, human being, mortal. So, humanly love. What does that even mean? Well, you can't translate it like that because it doesn't mean anything. Humanly love. 人情 embodies, encompasses mercy, kindness, favoritism, trust, and a whole lot of things. Let me explain it this way. When I grew up in Taiwan, you can go to the marketplace and let's say you buy $200 of meat. The meat vendor will quite often throw in uh, $50 worth of something else, or maybe $50 extra meat, or they'll give you a better cut rather than the one that you got, because they appreciate your business. Uh, when you go to a Chinese store often enough, let's say if there's a Chinese restaurant that I've been going to for the past 5 years, then it's perfectly okay for me to walk in there and eat a big meal and say, I'm sorry, but I don't have my wallet today. And the owner wouldn't even bat an eyelash. The owner would say, oh, that's okay. You've been eating here so much. It's okay. It's okay. And this one's on the house. Uh, when you go to a Chinese, when you call a Chinese restaurant that don't even do delivery, but because you've been shopping there so much, some quite often the owner, him or herself, will hop in their car and deliver the good to you. This is 人情. This is uh, the love and trust and kindness people show to each other because they are familiar. Again, it's kind of like 感情, but it's more leaning towards favoritism. I will do you a favor because you've been patronizing my business so much. I will do you, I will give you a break because you have been uh, benefiting me so much. So it's a direct cause and effect based on how much someone's benefited you, how much someone's being nice to you, how much someone's family has been your patron throughout the year. Um, As crazy as it sounds, right? A lot of Taiwanese, Chinese judges will base their decision on 人情, not by how much you benefit them, because that would be like taking bribe. Although I know a lot of them definitely do that. But what I'm talking about is a lot of judges will look at, okay, this guy killed somebody, but this guy has benefited the society so much because he or she uh, work as a volunteer, and they donate to organizations, and they help improve the environment. They do actually more good than harm for the society. Therefore, even though they just committed murder, we will go as light on them as possible because of 人情, because they have been nice to their fellow human beings until they committed murder. So there must be a reason why they committed this murder. Maybe it was a mistake. Maybe they were drunk. Maybe they were forced into it. Whatever. They've been very useful to the society. So based on 人情, I'm going to let them off easy. Similarly, a lot of judges will pass down extremely harsh sentences to someone who committed a crime because that person has not been very useful to the society. This person has been in and out of jail so many times. This person is always uh, getting complaints filed about them. Person is a wife beater. He beat up his children all the time and doesn't like to pay when he go to the store and is a scam artist. Okay, so even though it's a minor offense, we are going to nail him with some sentences that totally out of scale with what they did this time, just because they are not very, very nice people. So, as scary as it sounds, a lot of the sentences in Chinese culture, Taiwan, are heavily based on how the judge feels about you, how much 人情 they feel toward you, based on how you behave in your normal life, how you do you benefit the society, or are you just a no count, no good waste of a human being? Um, so 人情 is very complicated and very fluid, right? Just because someone feels 人情 toward you today doesn't mean that that person will feel it toward the same way toward you next week. It's very much depending on uh, what you do. In some ways, 人情 is the closest that we get to a karma system between human relation. You do more good things, you accumulate more 人情, and more good things will happen to you. Uh, a lot of time, when we go out of our way to do something for somebody in Chinese culture, Taiwanese culture, to an outsider, it may look like we just did something, we just went out of our way to do something without getting anything out of it. But if you ask us, we'll always tell you, that's okay. I'm accumulating 人情 because now I did this for him. So no matter if he recognized it or not, he now owed me 人情. So next time, if I need something done and he says yes, then he'll be repaying the favor. If he says no, then he'll look really bad because he is not uh, acknowledging the 人情 that he owes me. So again, 人情 is largely based on favoritism, kindness, mercy, exchanging, and trade, and basically unspoken karma system that Chinese people operate by, make their decision by, based on how much they benefit from each other. Thank you for checking out today's Wisdom Wednesday. We'll be back again tomorrow for Toy Thursday. Remember, to be a good person, we always want to have strong 友情 with our friends. We want to have strong 爱情 with our loved ones. We want to have 亲情 with our family. We want to have good 心情 in our heart. We also want to remember to cultivate 感情 with people we spend time with. And above all, we always want to remember that even when we are doing something without getting anything out of it, we at least are earning 人情 from and with our fellow human beings.